Today's stories are about things that go on water. Things that go, the big word is transportation. Transportation takes you from one place to another, and boats go on the water, taking you from one place to another, but on the water. This one is called Boat Book by Gail Gibbons. This one is Little Toot by Hardy Gramatke. One of these is real, one of these is pretend. Can you tell which one is which? Let's start with this one. What do you think this one is, real or pretend? Let's read it and find out. Gail Gibbons wrote the words, so she's called the, I hope you said author, and she drew the pictures too. So she's the illustrator. Let's see what's inside of this book. Boats float on the water. There are many kinds of boats. Some are big and some are little. There's a kayak and a speedboat. This one I think is a fishing boat, a sailboat. This one is some sort of cargo boat. Oh, this one is a really big cargo ship. Oars and paddles move some boats. There are rowboats, kayaks, and canoes. The wind moves some boats. The wind goes right into the sail. Can you see how the illustrator, how Gail Gibbons shows the wind? We can't really see wind, but if you were going to draw it, you would probably draw it in those swirly ways. There are many kinds of sailboats. A schooner, a sloop, a ketch, and a yawl. And I didn't know any of those. I'm learning something here. Speedboats can go very fast because they have an engine. These speedboats are racing each other. This is a cabin cruiser. The cabin is in here. Sometimes there's a kitchen or a bed in there. And a sport fishing boat, which is used for fun. There they are, they're fishing up there. Fishing down here. I wonder what they'll catch. A sightseeing boat is fun too. The people can sit up here and see all kinds of sights along the water. A cruise ship makes long trips on the ocean. There's lots and lots of bedrooms. There's even a swimming pool on a cruise ship. Sometimes there's even a movie theater. A fishing boat is a work boat. Some boats can go underwater. There's a submarine. And a submarine usually has a periscope that comes up and it can look above the water, even when it's down deep. In emergencies, fireboats and police boats help us. They can even spray water. Tugboats work hard pushing and pulling barges. They're small, but they're mighty. They also guide big boats in and out of the harbor. A super tanker is very big. It carries huge loads of oil. Some boats carry heavy loads, and some boats are fun to watch. This one is a container ship, a freighter, a tanker, an ore carrier, and a refrigerator ship. New to me. And that's the end of Boat Book. I learned from the Boat Book. I learned some things. Did you learn things too? I learned some new words. When it's a book that teaches us something new, It is, real or pretend? If you said real, you're right. What's Mrs. Casamasa's library word for a book that teaches us about real things? Did you say nonfiction? I hope you remember that. Nonfiction is not fake. It's real. Our next story is about one certain kind of boat. And the boat has a face. Real or pretend? You're right, it is pretend. Mrs. Casamasa's library word for a pretend book is, I heard you say it, fiction. This is called Little Toot. He's a tugboat. He helps boats move in and out of the harbor. It's written by Hardy Gramatke. He wrote the words, so he's called he's the author, and he also drew the pictures, so he's the illustrator. Little Toot changes in this story. Let's find out how he changes. At the foot of an old wharf lived Little Toot, the cutest tugboat you ever saw. The only sound that came out of his whistle was a small toot, toot, toot. But Little Toot made up for that by blowing big fat balls of smoke out of his smokestack. Poof, poof, poof as he toots. Look at all of these other ships. They're all working so hard. The river was a busy place, but Little Toot did not like to work. He loved to have fun making figure eights in the water. Hey, look, there are some eights in there. One day, Little Toot's game annoyed a hard-working tug bound downstream. The big boat blasted his horn. Oh, look, he's got an angry face. Honk! It even blew off Little Toot's hat. The other tugboats laughed and said that Little Toot only knew how to play, not how to work. Poor Little Toot. Feeling embarrassed and lonely, he let the tide carry him out to sea. The wind was blowing harder and harder. A terrible storm was coming. Just then, Little Toot was startled by the whooshing sound of a ship's flare. They use that for emergencies. An ocean liner was stuck on the rocks. Little Toot went wild with excitement. He puffed out SOS so that the big tugs would come to the rescue. SOS stands for Save Our Ship. So he's puffing it out. Suddenly, a wave spun Little Toot around and another tossed him up in the air. The big waves kept all of the other boats away, so Little Toot had to do something. He bounced along the top of the waves like a rubber ball, and when a huge wave lifted the big ocean liner off of the rocks, Little Toot tugged with all his might, because that's what he does. He is a tugboat. The ship came free. Little Toot pulled that great big boat into the harbor. All the tugboats blew their horns. Little Toot was a hero. Look at all the people cheering for Little Toot up on that big ocean liner, that cruise ship. After that, Little Toot became quite a different kind of tugboat. It is said that he can haul as big a load as Big Toot can. That is when Big Toot hasn't a really big load to haul. But look at his face now. He used to be all about playing, and now he became a worker boat. That's kind of like you in pre-K. When you first came to pre-K, you wanted to play a lot. But now that you're bigger, you can do a lot more work, can't you? So make sure that you're practicing things from pre-K at home.